Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down some massive news coming out of Saudi Arabia, a complete overhaul of their 2025 work visa rules. So if you're a professional or a company with your eyes on the kingdom, you are absolutely going to want to stick around for this.
And let me tell you, this is not just some small update. As a huge part of its Vision 2030 plan, Saudi Arabia is totally transforming its entire work visa system. The main goal here? To basically roll out the red carpet for the world's best and brightest talent.
Okay, so let's really get into the nitty-gritty. We're talking about a ground-up rebuild here, designed not just to make it easier for foreign workers to get in, but to strategically line up the entire workforce with the kingdom's most ambitious economic priorities.
At the very heart of this huge reform is a brand new and mandatory three-tier system. From here on out, every single long-term work permit is going to be classified based on skill level. This completely changes the game for how talent is evaluated and hired in the kingdom.
And just look at how fast this is all happening. The process kicked off on July 5th, and by the very beginning of August, the new system is mandatory for everybody. That incredibly tight timeline means that understanding these changes is absolutely critical for anyone planning a move.
So here's exactly how this new structure works. Everything is now split into three simple tiers: high-skilled, skilled, and basic. And the logic is crystal clear. Your visa category is now directly linked to your job, your qualifications, and, maybe most importantly, a minimum monthly salary. It completely removes any guesswork. Now here's a really key point. This whole three-tier system applies specifically to visas that lead to one critical thing, an Iqama. If you're not familiar with it, the Iqama is the official residency permit. It's the golden ticket that lets you do everything: open a bank account, sign a lease, and even sponsor your family to come live with you. So, that brings us to the two main pathways you can take to work in the kingdom. And believe me, knowing the difference between them is now more critical than ever. The big question is, are you coming for a quick project, or are you planning a long-term career? Your choice really boils down to this. You've got the temporary work visa, which is perfect for short-term gigs. No Iqama, and it's not part of this new skill-based system. Then you have the employment visa. That's for the long haul. It leads directly to an Iqama and is completely governed by these new three-tier rules.
Let's dive a bit deeper into that temporary visa. With this one, you get a maximum stay of 180 days. It's really designed for people like consultants, specialists, or anyone coming in for a fixed-term project. You start with a 90-day visa, and you can extend it once for another 90 days, giving you about 6 months on the ground.
And the government has made the fee process incredibly simple and transparent. The cost for this short-term access is just a flat 1,000 Saudi riyals. It's a clear, straightforward price for temporary, project-based work.
But the journey to getting that all-important Iqama? Well, that's a much more involved process. It's a 4-step journey that kicks off with your employer classifying your new role on the government's Kiwa platform. Then it moves through getting your visa stamped, and finally, it requires you to complete biometrics once you arrive before that official residency permit is issued.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of changes, but it is just as important to know what isn't changing. Some of the core compliance rules are staying exactly the same.
So let's be super clear here. The fundamentals of Saudi labor law are not going anywhere. You still absolutely need an employer to sponsor your Iqama. Companies still have to meet their Saudization quotas for hiring local talent. And, of course, compliance with the wage protection system remains completely non-negotiable.
And here is a critical warning for employers. Misclassifying a role in the Chiwa system is not a small mistake. The government can bring down some serious penalties. We're talking hefty fines or even restrictions on future hiring. So, for employers, getting this classification right the first time is absolutely essential.
So after all that, what does this really mean for you in practical terms? Let's break it all down into a final, simple checklist for both employers and professionals.
Okay, employers, this is your starting point. Before you can even begin to think about hiring foreign talent, you have to have these ducks in a row: a valid commercial registration, a good Saudization rating, full compliance with the wage system, and enough visa quota available in your company's Kiwa account.
And for all you professionals out there, here are your key reminders. For those high-skilled visas, get your degrees and experience letters attested.
Remember, only an Iqama lets you sponsor your family. The temporary visa won't. And this is a huge one. You cannot just convert a temporary visa into an employment visa while you're inside the country. It doesn't work that way. You have to start a completely new application from scratch.
You know, this whole reform is way more than just new rules. It's a massive signal of the kingdom's ambition to become a global hub for the best talent out there. And it leaves us with a final thought. As countries around the world compete more and more fiercely for skilled people, this kind of strategic, qualification-based immigration system, well, it might just be a glimpse into the future of work for all of us.